Welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Gail Nelson from Journey Counseling about bringing gratitude to your life and being happier. So we talked about the mind, but how can we bring more gratitude to our lives?
Well, I even like the word delight, to just be delighted. And it's one of the things that Rabbi Harold Kushner said in When Bad Things Happen to Good People. One of the skills that we miss are these little moments, these little nuggets that come along and are full of delight, but they just pass us by because we're not paying attention. So tiny things, just, you know, a lung full of air. We can forget some of the things, and, you know, most of the world doesn't have shoes. So, you know, we've got closets full of shoes. Are we delighted by that? And we've got people in our lives that, yeah, we can complain because they left the cups on the counter and their underwear next to the laundry basket. We can complain about all those things. But it's a sign that we do have people in our lives. So maybe it's a perspective building exercise that we need to turn it around a bit.
I think you mentioned something too in your notes about how somebody was complaining once about all the dirty house and no one was helping her clean up, but all of a sudden somebody came back at her and said, you know what, in a few years you might be grateful to have people in your house and making a mess.
It was an older lady whose children had all left the home.
Yeah.
And she shook her finger and she said, honey, let me tell you, someday you will beg to have somebody come and mess up your house. You know, and we're like, and the women were like, oh, they were crying because like they forget the perspective of being delighted at these little things in our life that otherwise might pass us by.
It takes discipline though. I mean, you really got to have that mindset. We're like, hey, okay, I remember when I came back I took a trip down to, excuse me, South America. Everyone's chilling, no one's wrapped up, and you know, what are you buying, driving, whatever. And this is when I lived in LA, and I got back, I said, I am not going to get wrapped up in LA. And surely enough, within 2, 3, 4 weeks, you're back in that rat race. I mean, it takes a very tough mentality to stay out of it. So how do you strengthen that?
Well, maybe it is our practice, maybe it's our mindset, maybe it is, like you said, the people we're around. If you're around one of those high energy people, instead of blaming them for being on some drug and who do they think they are, you know, to celebrate with them, to jump in with it. I love like when Chris Linares does her jazzy, dancey things, you just can't help when you walk away, but you need a coach. Sometimes we need to get ourselves out of that rut we're in. The brain will travel in deep ruts, and sometimes you really have to do quite a bit to get it out of that, and it takes some work.
I know. I'm sometimes gravitated to people. I gravitate to people like that because I want their energy and I want them to, you know, live next door to me and, you know, get me fired up.
Yeah, it does. It does. It creates different chemistry in the brain, even different chemistry in the body. And I think as human beings, I keep saying we're in a difficult place. This place it's taking us with anxiety and depression, and even the antacid aisle in CVS, when you go into the store and you see how many things people are taking for upset stomach because they just can't stomach how much stress is in their life. We really do need to do some of these things very diligently if we're going to have a human existence that carries forward into something more productive, because we're not really doing so hot when it comes to doing better at our thinking skills, I think.
So not only think it maybe, but say it out loud, like, that was a great song. I'm grateful to have a car to drive to work. Or, honey, you're so funny.
Yeah, well, little things. They make you a pot of coffee in the morning and you just take it for granted. Or, yeah, you just have little moments with somebody where you are glad to have that load of laundry to do. There's people in your life, and they need you, and you can celebrate with them.
The laundry's fine, it's the toilet. The toilet cleaning is the worst.
Pass that one on.
Wow, I better be grateful for that.
We have a toilet, yeah.
Yeah, right, and it works. Thank goodness.
Have you ever had the sewer back up? Okay, there's my point.
Grateful for that plunger. Any final thoughts that you want to share with our audience?
Just that most things go beautifully most of the time. If we can take stock of that, I think it starts to help turn things around for us. Take stock of what's going well.
Gail Nelson, Journey Counseling, stop by and see this delightful lady. We are grateful to have you on our show.
Thank you.
Delighted. We'll be right back.